Oh, wow. An apple a day keeps the hunger away. Cherry, come here. Cherry's always been full of life. She's got quite the tale behind her. My journey with Cherry began at my first house on a 3.5-acre orchard up in the mountains of San Diego, where I lived with my dog Tomato. My neighbor had a cabin nearby with a dog named Cherry. Cherry was an escape artist. She'd break through windows to free herself and dash straight over to our place. The very first time I met Cherry was when I was hosting a small barbecue. She crossed the acreage in just a few moments and was able to get up to my deck and ran through the cracked door into the house. She ran straight for my white bed and started running with her muddy paw in tight circles. I went over to her and tried to tackle her off my bed to keep her from getting it more muddy, and she ended up biting me. That's how I ended up meeting my neighbor for the first time when I called her number on her collar. We ended up becoming good friends later, but that was definitely a rocky start. Cherry's unplanned visits became even more regular. Her excitement to see Tomato was undeniable. Her owner's frustration with the damage that she was causing was building. He kept asking me if I wanted her. Many times I told her no, knowing her energy level and the chaos that she caused. Then one day he came over in tears, saying this was it. He was bringing her to the pound. This was the last chance. It was a tense moment, and Tomato seemed to sense it. He stood up and pressed his side against Cherry's. It was as if he was trying to protect her, and that's when I decided to keep her. Since then, Cherry and Tomato were inseparable. Unfortunately, Tomato's not with us anymore, but he did help me tame this beast. Take a look around here. This orchard takes on a different kind of beauty in late fall. 20 years ago, this orchard, as well as all of the Julian Mountain and much of the surrounding mountains, was burned down in the largest fire of the time, which is the Cedar Fire. While little patches survived, luckily this orchard did. This orchard was abandoned 20 years ago when that happened, along with most of the properties out here. Just a 5-minute walk from here is another part of our story. It's a 1-acre piece of land that I planned on doing most of Cherry Tomato Engineering's early prototyping on. Let's jump over there and take a look. This is the 1-acre land. Next to me is an RV, and right in this spot below the RV is a foundation for a small cabin, 2-story cabin that used to stand right here, surrounded by absolutely gigantic trees. Here at Cherry Tomato Engineering, we're working on a new earthquake-safe, California-compliant 3D printer, a 3D printer large enough to be able to print an entire structure all at once and go through traditional permitting process for poured concrete.